What's up, makers? If you've watched my other videos, you are probably very used to seeing my face already, but if you're new, welcome to my channel. I am Sierra with Sierra's Crocheted Crafts, and this is going to be my final video in my little 3 mini vlog series about my pattern process. So, my pattern designing process. So this is actually going to be about how I make my blog posts. So, I talked about in my Instagram stories a few weeks ago about how many steps there really is to create one of my blog posts. So I wanted to share all of those fun things with you guys today. So there's actually 11 things that I have written down. 11. So let's go ahead and jump into number 1. So the first thing to do for my blog posts, at least, are creating content. And if you watch my other video about how I create my patterns, you will know just how long that process is. So creating the content for me, because I mostly release free patterns on my blog, is to create an entire pattern. And if you haven't, or if you would like to, you can watch that video on how a pattern is created by me down below. I linked it in the description box. You can watch that. So this process can take anywhere between 3 days to like over a month. So it really just depends on what you're designing and everything. So this is a really long part of the process for the blog post, is creating the content for me. So that usually takes a huge chunk of time because I'm creating an entire pattern from just a thought in my head to an actual product. So that, as you can imagine, can take quite a bit of time. And step number 2 for me is to find testers. And again, this is the other video in my little 3 video vlog series that I'm doing for you guys. So you can find that video down in the description below. So finding testers within itself is a huge task, and that actual process of just finding the testers can take anywhere between 2 to 5 days, just depending on how many applicants you get, how long it takes you to go through all of their responses, and how long it takes you to narrow it down to how many you would like. So that process is quite lengthy as well. And let's go ahead and jump into number 3. Once you have found all of your testers, you now have to go through the entire testing process, which again, if you watch the video or if you want to, it's down below. But that process is very lengthy, and it just depends on the timeline that you give your testers. So mine typically vary from 1 to 4 weeks. So like 1 week for hats and scarves, 2 weeks for like triangle scarves, and 3 to 4 weeks for certain garments and stuff like that. So that's kind of my timeline for certain types of patterns. So that's how it can vary. And number 5, this step can actually be at any point of time, but I'm just throwing it in here for number 5, is taking good photos. So we want to take really good pictures of, process of the pattern. So like progress pictures of just little bits of the pattern done, maybe with like cute props and backgrounds and stuff like that, just to make them really pretty and, jazz it up a little bit. And then you also want to take really amazing finished photos. So whenever your product's finished, I like to take, depending on what it is, like I'll do like flat lays of the, like if it's a hat, I'll do flat lays of it, again with like pretty props and backgrounds and stuff to really make it pop and, draw people into the picture. And then I also like to do lifestyle pictures, so it's on. And I'm typically the one that models all of my stuff, so it's usually me like in my room or outside with my tripod, kind of like how I'm doing now to record the videos, just snapping pictures of myself. Sometimes my husband does it too because he's amazing. But it's usually me modeling the stuff, so I like to get good pictures of it on, just so people can see how I style it, how it looks on, because that's usually a really big thing, especially if it's a garment. People really want to see how it looks on somebody, because it's really hard to tell the fit or the styling or the shapes of garments if they're just flat lays. It's really hard to do that. So for flat lays, I typically like to do like the progress pictures, so you can just see the detailing or the stitch work, just to see the details of the pattern. And then most of my pictures are finished pictures on me, or if I have like a model or someone to wear it for me. Those are usually what I go towards for garments, at least. So, I mean, and then beanies, you know, a lot of flat lace for beanies work really well, but I'm the type of person that really likes to see it on somebody, whether it's a hat, a scarf, a garment, whatever it is. I like to see someone wearing it. So I always try to include lifestyle pictures. And then to add on to pictures, you also have to edit these pictures, and you know, that can be a process. I try not to edit my pictures heavily, like with filters and anything. A lot of it's just like cropping and lighting and exposure type of deal, just to make sure that they look presentable. That my editing skills are not advanced in any way, shape, or form, so editing doesn't take me too long. I'm not a Photoshop girl. I don't even own Photoshop. I don't know how to work it. So I use just like my phone, because I take a lot of pictures on my phone actually, so I just use like my iPhone and like the Instagram app really to get the pictures that I want. So editing is another part of taking the pictures. And then we will go ahead and move on to number 6, which is still pictures, but a little different. If you want to have a successful blog, you have to be a part of the Pinterest world, which I did not really know about. So I joined Pinterest like for my business around the same time I started blogging, because everywhere I was reading, oh, Pinterest is the biggest driver, like traffic drive to your blog. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll start doing that too. So adding a Pinterest picture for your blog, you have to create that. So you can go on like Canva or a Monkey Pick, and they have like free templates, and they also have free paid templates. I always use the free ones, of course. But I usually like to have like a picture on the top, picture on the bottom, and then the words in the middle, like free scarf pattern by Sierra's Crochet Crafts or Sierra's Crafty Creations or whatever. So I do like picture, words, picture. Pretty simple, but it's, you know, the pictures that count, because you want to draw people to those pens. So make sure you have really good pictures. Those are just number one thing, just really good pictures. So you create the pen, the template, and then you save it to your computer so you can use it on your blog post. And then you also have to use that picture to create a pen on Pinterest, but we'll come back to that. Number 7. Okay, so number 7, we are going to be typing up the actual blog post. This is like the chillest part of the whole process, is actually typing up the blog post. So, you know, you put in all of your text and everything, and you throw your pictures in there. I like to do a picture at the top, do a little blurb, and then another picture, and then like supplies, materials that you'll need, picture. So like it's like picture, words, picture, words, picture, words, you know, however you want to do it. That's just how I lay mine out. So you're just going to be typing this up, throwing in the pictures, and yeah, that's the easiest part, right? All right, so then we'll move on to number 8. 8 is playing around with photo placement. So you put that photo, then the blurb, then the photo, then the blurb. Yeah, you know, you think it looks great, but wait. Then you put the preview or little button so that you can see how it looks. And then you might end up with your picture over here, your words over here. They're not lined up, they're far apart, and they don't make any sense. So then you have to go back and edit and rearrange them. And then, yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of editing, small little bit, preview, oh, going back, editing, preview, oh. Yeah, so you can see how that goes. Once you are done with that, we are going to move on to step number 9. That was fun. Okay, so step number 9. This is probably the hardest part. Just kidding, it's the easiest. You hit publish or schedule to publish. I usually schedule. So you just, one button, boop, real hard, right? So that's number 9. You think we're done. We still have 2 more steps. What, Sierra? 2 more steps after we publish? What are you talking about? Yeah, Sierra learned this the hard way. I was like, oh, I'm done, it's fine. And then I was like, oh wait, my Pinterest, when I was previewing, my Pinterest pen wasn't linked to anything. Like when I clicked it, it didn't go anywhere. Dun, 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 dun. Brings us to number 10. Still more steps. Number 10. You have to go to Pinterest, and that photo, the Pinterest template that you used, you're going to create a pin on Pinterest. You're going to write the title for it, the little blurb, and then you're going to link, it asks for a URL to link that pin to a website, and you're going to put your blog post URL. So you're going to put that in there, then you're going to hit post. And then once you post that pin, it'll give you like another URL to go to that actual pin for you to plug it into your website. So you're going to copy the pin's URL, the Pinterest pin URL. Then you're going to take that, and that goes us to number 11. You're going to take that URL to that pin and go and edit to your blog post after it's published. And you're going to hyperlink that picture with that URL. So that way when people click on that picture, it'll go straight to that Pinterest pin, and they can pin it to all of their fun Pinterest boards. So yeah, there's 2 extra steps that you have to do after your blog's post finished. That's if you're doing Pinterest, which if you have a blog, you should be doing Pinterest. So yeah, those are all my 11 steps. People might say, oh, just 11 easy steps. Well, you should watch my other videos to see the creating the pattern step, which is creating the content, number 1, which can take over a month, an entire month for one blog post. And then the pattern testing, which is the other video, which also can take up to a month. So, and this is all to come together to make one blog post. How freaking crazy is that? So much time, so many supplies, so much energy, so much skill, technical skill that I don't even have. I don't possess such technical skills. So it can be frustrating at times, but guys, it's been worth it. It's been an amazing process, and I absolutely love doing blog posts to give out free patterns because I love seeing everyone make my stuff, and it's just a really good time. So I hope none of this scared you off. I just wanted to show you the process for people like me who put patterns out into the world, free patterns, crochet patterns. So I hope this doesn't scare you off. I hope it actually just makes the process a little more realistic for you, because when I first started out, I had a very unrealistic idea of how the blog would go. So I just hope this was helpful and gave you shined a little bit of light onto the realistic part of creating a blog post. So if you have any questions for me, guys, you can always feel free to comment. If you follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is @SierrasCrochetCrafts. You can always DM me there. I always love chatting with you guys and hearing from you, and yeah, I just love hanging out with my fellow makers online. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of my vlogs or my tutorials, feel free to subscribe. But I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!